Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. Metro Manila's COVID-19 positivity rate has gone up this past week. Latest data from the Octa Research Group shows that the NCR's 7-day positivity rate rising to 12.3% on April 26, from 8.1% the week before. This is more than double of the World Health Organization's threshold of 5%, which is the level at where the virus is deemed under control. Octa noted that waning immunity, decreased compliance to health protocols, and increased mobility all contributed to the uptick. And Occidental Mindoro will get more hours of electricity per day after the National Electrification Administration and a power generator inked a supply deal. JC Cosico with the details.
From just 4 hours, Occidental Mindoro will have up to 7 hours of electricity daily. This is after the National Electrification Administration and Power Systems Incorporated reached a power supply agreement. The additional power requirement will be sourced from the PSI's plant in San Jose Town, which has a capacity of 5 to 6 megawatts. The NEA says this would be in effect by 12 noon on Saturday.
By Saturday, we are sure that 5 megawatt capacity will be added up. Well, let's not talk of reduced brownouts, but rather increase the hours of electricity supply. From 4, hopefully it can reach by 7.
The agreement will last for 2 months to ease power woes in the province, which is currently under a state of calamity. The government will shoulder the cost of the operation, which amounts to around 58 million pesos a month. NEA Administrator Antonio Almeida explained the deal would only last for a couple of months because the rollout of 17 megawatts from the DMCI Power Corporation is expected during the same period. This will complete the 29 megawatt power demand of the whole province. Once completed, NEA hopes there will be no power interruptions in the province at least until March 31, 2024. This when the power supply agreement between the Occidental Mindoro Electric Cooperative and DMCI Power Corporation ends, after which the OMICO will conduct a bidding for its long-term energy requirements.
Before the expiration of 1 year, we just have to make sure that there is a CSP in place and there is a replacement power for the subject capacity in the EPSA.
Meantime, 2 units of diesel generator sets will be shipped to Occidental Mindoro to supply power in hospitals and schools in the area. 2 more diesel generator sets are also on standby. Residents are advised to brace for higher bills as power rates are expected to go up. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
We're gonna pause for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. More than 400 Filipinos have been evacuated from Sudan. Meanwhile, the Philippine Embassy in Cairo is waiting for more OFWs who are stranded at the Egyptian border. Camille Samonte tells us more.
The first batch of Filipino evacuees have successfully crossed the border of Sudan. Philippine Ambassador to Egypt Ezedin Tago welcomed at least 51 Filipino nationals who were initially stranded in the border. The process took several hours as the embassy had to manually issue travel documents.
Imagine po yung process kung gagawan namin ng travel document mano-mano sa karsada. It could take 5 to 10 minutes per travel document. And so that means if for about 10 travel documents, that's about a good hour. So a bus that has about 20 in travel documents na kailangan, that could result. So these are the challenges po.
The evacuees will be brought to Aswan to rest after their long travel. From Aswan, they will then transfer to Cairo to take a plane en route to the Philippines.
Yes, they've already taken the bus. They will be proceeding, as I had mentioned also earlier, they will be proceeding, pupunta na sila sa Aswan, kung saan nag-arrange po kami na manatili sila ng isang gabi or dalawa sa isang hotel. And then after that, may isa pang biyahes, hopefully by plane or by bus or train, papuntang Cairo. And from there, we are arranging for their flights out to the Philippines.
The embassy is still waiting for 350 Filipinos who are part of the second batch of evacuees waiting at the border. Tago said to expect long waiting hours as different nationals are still scrambling to cross from Sudan. They also advised Filipinos to bring food and water, citing lack of essential resources in the area.
I hope they are ready also with water and food, especially for the long journey, as well as yung wait doon on the other side. Because kahit the facilities are really not provided. So we advise them na magdalang some supplies.
Even Migrant Worker Secretary Susan Ople and diplomatic officials also were not spared from the hassle in entering the border of Sudan and Egypt due to tight border control.
Requirement na may visa to enter. And right now, none of us sa DMW have the visas. We have diplomatic passports, but that's not enough. Ang totoo niyan, nahihirapan talaga. Hindi lang ang gobyerno natin, kung hindi pati ibang gobyerno, including the Egyptian government.
Meanwhile, the government also said it is having problems renting buses that will fetch evacuees.
Dati, ang isang bus nasa 8,000 US. Ngayon, ang going rate nasa 30,000 US na.
The DMW Secretary is now en route to Aswan, Egypt to attend to the first batch of evacuees. Today marks the last day of ceasefire in Sudan. More than 400 Filipinos have already been evacuated. Meanwhile, the Philippine Consulate in Jeddah is coordinating with the Saudi authorities for the evacuation of Filipinos traveling through Port of Sudan. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Moving on to some business news. Listed firm Metro Pacific Investments Corporation is planning to go private. In a disclosure to the Philippine Stock Exchange, MPIC said its board has approved the filing of an application for voluntary delisting. This is after the Pangilinan-led company received a notice of intent to undertake a 46.8 billion peso tender offer from Metro Pacific Holdings, GT Capital Holdings, MIT Pacific Infrastructure Holdings, and MIG Holdings. This consortium, referred to as the bidders, offered to buy out MPIC's minority shareholders at 4 pesos and 63 centavos per share. The voluntary delisting is still subject to the Borsa's compliance rules. In a statement, the bidders say that a delisted MPIC will be better aligned with the consortium's objective to continue investing in long-term infrastructure projects. One News Now will be back with the latest stories at 6:30 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.